All right, let's jump right in. Today we're looking at um, a brand guide and it's for a company called ROTS. And, I love getting a behind the scenes look at how companies really think about themselves.
Yeah, like their brand identity.
Exactly.
Like their playbook for how they want to present themselves to the world.
Right.
Their values, their vision, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and this guide is packed with fascinating details. It's like a blueprint for how they want to tell their story.
Yeah.
And create this like consistent message, visually and verbally, to really, stand out and cut through the noise.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to build a whole world around their brand.
Exactly. And one of the first things that jumped out at me was this idea of unencumbered thinking. They call it their human truth, basically the core belief driving their whole brand. And it's all about, tapping into our inquisitive spirit and breaking free from limitations.
Interesting.
They're saying that we all have the power to shape our own narratives and impact the world when we embrace that kind of mindset.
So it's not just about like personal growth.
Right. It goes deeper than that.
Deeper.
They actually connect this idea to a much bigger goal.
That's
They want to illuminate artists' fullest potential. They even call artists essential prophets for cultural progress.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, it is. It makes you think, what kind of company sees artists as like leading a new world evolution?
New world evolution.
That's straight from their vision statement. To free creative thinkers from socioeconomic barriers to lead the new world evolution. I mean, wow, right?
Wow.
What do you think they mean by that?
Well, if you look at their values, they describe themselves as altruists, curious, flow-minded, bold, and focused on oneness. So it seems like they're trying to create this vision where creativity and collaboration are the driving forces of change.
Yeah, it's like a utopian ideal almost. But how does that translate into an actual business? They have to be selling something, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Their mission statement gives us a clue. It says, questioning reality to inspire new thoughts and actions for the benefit of humanity.
Okay, so they're like this disruptive force,
Kind of.
challenging conventional thinking and using art to drive innovation.
Yeah, it seems like they're positioning themselves as this like catalyst for change.
Right. But what does that look like in practice? Are they a think tank, a consultancy, an art collective?
So they're actually targeting two main audiences: brands and businesses looking for innovative communication strategies, and artists themselves.
Interesting.
They're saying, we understand the power of art, and we can help you harness that power to achieve your goals.
So they're like this bridge between the creative world and the business world.
Exactly.
And it seems like their network of multifaceted artists is a big part of their appeal.
Yeah.
Like they're not just talking the talk, they have the connections to actually make things happen.
That's a good point.
And this is where it gets really intriguing.
Okay, tell me more.
They've developed this whole brand character for themselves. They identify as the mentor.
Really?
Yeah. They even have a character bio.
Wow.
It says, an affable, quick-witted creator that inspires all artists and the artists inside each of us to build a better world.
That's pretty ambitious.
Right.
It is.
But it speaks to their overall mission,
Yeah.
to empower artists and drive social change.
Yeah. It's a powerful message for sure.
But it makes you wonder, can a company really live up to such lofty ideals?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is. We've only just scratched the surface of this brand guide, and already I have so many more questions.
Yeah, me too.
What about you? What's standing out to you so far?
I think what's most interesting to me is how carefully they've crafted their message. It's not just about what they do, but why they do it.
Right. They've really thought this through.
And they've clearly tailored their approach for different audiences.
Yeah, they seem to have a strategy for everything.
Definitely. They've got these brand message pillars, and they lay out their core talking points.
Oh, yeah, I saw those.
For instance, they talk about protecting the future by uplifting the artistic community and other like undervalued communities. That definitely ties back to their whole purpose of illuminating artists' potential and driving societal change.
Exactly. But they don't just stop there.
Oh no.
Nope. They go on to say that the world of communication is a living art form.
Okay.
And they advocate for active participation in shaping this evolving form of expression. It's almost like they're elevating communication itself to a higher level.
I mean, it's definitely not your typical corporate jargon.
Right.
And then there's this whole idea of popular culture
Yes.
as the pulse of the world.
Interesting.
Like it's an indicator of where we're headed as a society.
I see.
It seems like they're positioning themselves at the forefront of cultural trends, almost like they're trying to predict the future.
That's ambitious.
It is. And that's where their emphasis on innovation really comes in,
Makes sense.
especially when they're talking to brands. They use this word inventive, all caps.
Oh, wow.
It's like they're really trying to attract companies that are looking to, break the mold and stand out.
Yeah, companies that want to be different.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's not just about being different for the sake of being different. They're tying this innovation back to their core values. It's about using creativity to drive positive change, both for their clients and for the world at large.
So it's like a win-win.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is how they adjust their language, depending on who they're talking to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when they're pitching to investors, they focus on their potential for growth and impact.
Okay.
They highlight data and results.
Makes sense. Investors want to see the numbers.
Right. It's like they're speaking different languages.
Yeah.
But with the same underlying message, we're a force to be reckoned with.
And we're going to make a difference.
Exactly. And then when they talk to artists, they shift gears again.
How so?
They emphasize collaboration, opportunity, and this shared mission to elevate the role of art in society.
So they're appealing to their sense of purpose.
Right. They even use this phrase, meets our artists, which suggests a sense of community and partnership.
That's smart.
It is. But it makes you wonder if they could really live up to all of these promises.
Yeah, they've set the bar pretty high.
They have.
It's a lot to live up to.
But before we get to the potential hurdles,
Okay.
I want to point out one more detail that I found really clever.
Go ahead.
Remember how they talk about brand advocates?
Yeah, like loyal supporters who believe in their mission.
Exactly. And their messaging for this group is all about thought leadership, highlighting their unique perspective on the intersection of art, culture, and communication.
Interesting.
It's like they're saying, we're not just a company, we're a movement.
Join us.
Yeah, it's a bold strategy. But the question remains, can they actually pull it off?
That's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll look at the potential challenges and opportunities facing ROTS as they try to bring their vision to life.
Buckle up, because this is where things get really interesting.
Right.
Okay, so we've spent the last two parts really digging into ROTS brand identity
Yeah, their values, their mission.
and how they want to be perceived in the world. It's clear they've put a lot of thought into this, crafting this compelling narrative.
Definitely.
But as we all know, actions speak louder than words.
Right. It's one thing to have a nice brand guide, but it's another thing entirely to actually live those values.
Especially when you're talking about like disrupting industries and sparking, new world evolutions.
Right, exactly.
So let's talk about the challenges.
Yeah. What are some of the potential hurdles they might face trying to bring this vision to life?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is authenticity.
Yeah.
Like they're all about challenging conventions. But marketing itself can feel very conventional.
Right. It's a bit of a paradox.
It is. How do you be a rebel while playing the game?
Exactly. And then there's the competition.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
The creative industry is crowded.
It is.
Lots of agencies all vying for attention
So how do they stand out?
without compromising their values.
Right? How do they make sure their message doesn't get lost in the noise?
I think they'll need to really demonstrate that unique value proposition,
Which is.
that access to their network of multifaceted artists,
Yeah.
and their ability to help brands tap into the power of art and culture.
Right. It's not enough to just talk about it. They have to show it.
Exactly.
Another potential challenge I see is measuring impact.
Yeah, how do you track something like evolving consciousness or societal progress?
Right. Those are pretty big concepts.
Yeah.
Not easy to quantify.
It's not like tracking website traffic or something.
So how do they define success?
They'll need to come up with clear metrics that align with their values.
Which can be tricky when you're dealing with things like unencumbered thinking and cultural evolution.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
So it sounds like they have their work cut out for them.
They do.
But let's shift gears for a second.
Okay.
What opportunities do you see for ROTS?
Well, I think there's a real hunger for brands with purpose.
Brands that stand for something.
Exactly.
Consumers are drawn to companies that align with their values.
And that are making a positive impact.
And RTS seems to really get that.
I do.
Their whole brand is built around empowerment and social change.
It's a message that could resonate with a lot of people.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I'm also intrigued by their mentor archetype.
Yeah.
If they can really embody that role.
You know, providing guidance and support.
And both artists and brands?
I think they could build a really strong community around that.
Yeah, a community of people who believe in their mission.
It all comes down to walking the walk.
You know, not just talking the talk.
If they can translate those ideals into action, they have the potential to make a real difference.
I agree. Well, this deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about. It's a reminder that a brand is so much more than just a logo or a tagline. It's about values, purpose, impact.
It's about making a difference in the world.
Exactly. And it raises some important questions for all of us.
Oh. Like what?
What role do we play in shaping the brands we support? Do we hold them accountable? Do we challenge them when they fall short?
Those are good questions.
I think so too. As we wrap up this deep dive into ROTS, I'm left feeling both intrigued and cautiously optimistic.
I get that.
They've set ambitious goals, and it'll be fascinating to see if they can achieve them. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.